One, as I said at the outset, you and I have been friends for many years. You've been on this program many times with colleagues. You've been on regarding books. And now it feels as though you are attacking all of NPR.
Me?
Is that what you're intending to do?
What have I said to make you say that?
Not this morning, but in the news media, saying, as you've written, I say an ideological battle because my comments on the O'Reilly factor are being distorted by the self-righteous ideological left-wing leadership at NPR. So are you confining your comments to the leadership only and not to NPR generally?
I'm a big fan of radio and public radio. I've raised, I don't know how many dollars. I have been out raising and speaking to NPR audiences, goodness gracious, Diane, from Seattle to Boston to Dallas to Oklahoma. Everywhere, because those audiences have asked me. In other words, the local stations have asked me to come in and help them with fundraising, and I have been glad to do it. I don't think that there's any question in terms of my history about being a fan of radio and public radio. But let me just finish. I think that here you have local public radio as an important institution and outlet in so many communities. And but the thing is that, and here's what I'm saying, when I have had my experiences with management at national public radio, and especially this latest management, it seems to me that there is a very, very narrow band of ideology being practiced, that they are not interested in a full, diverse expression of opinion or ideas, that very limited, and that's what I'm talking about.
All right, take it from the other perspective. Here's an email from Chris who says, do you think the $2 million contract provided to you by Fox is an exploitation of your situation to conduct a vendetta against journalism at NPR, given the fact that you've now got Newt Gingrich and others calling for a cutoff of funds for NPR?
You know, this is an interesting thing. I am not a person who gets involved in these kinds of political activities. That's not my role as a journalist. I am simply saying that the way that I've been treated was wrongheaded to me, and I have tried to defend myself because I think NPR, with its name and the fact that it's a huge institution, has the power and the credibility to go after one person, me, and to try to make the case that either I was psychotic or not reliable or not a good journalist, and to say, oh, we've had a history with this person. There is no such history. And so,
how can you say there's no such history when, there is a history going back a few years when they've called you in and said, we think this is questionable?
No, you're talking about statements that I may have made at Fox or being on Fox. I was talking about my journalism. It's not about, hey, there's some problem here with bias, or you didn't do this, or
right.
No, it's not about my journalism.
Right. Okay. It's about being on Fox.
That's what I think. Ultimately, I think this is what it comes down to. Now, if they find themselves in a political situation, they have historically, where people say NPR is national as opposed to local, but NPR national is too left-wing, too left-leaning, and all that.
But they include me in that one when arguments are made, and I can provide you, as I'm sure every station across the country can provide you, with people we've had on representing all sides.
Correct. But what I'm saying is it's an attack not on you, and maybe not even on this program. I'm not familiar with the particulars, but I understand when I have seen these attacks, and I have had to speak against these attacks when I'm out raising money for NPR, that they are concerned with NPR news program, the national news programming.
Want Williams.